Hey everyone, good Saturday afternoon. Meteorologist Griffin Hardy talking about the tropics. We have two pretty big storms to talk about, or at least what was one big storm with Grace that's now moved inland towards Mexico. But a much more potentially impactful storm for the United States, that is, with Hurricane Henri that is just offshore of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Quick disclaimer for anybody who lives in and around New England, I am not an emergency official. I am a meteorologist here to give a proper forecast. So if you need any advice on what to do leading up to Henri's landfall, please be sure to follow the advice of local emergency officials. So that being said, let's dive into it. We've got Grace, Tropical Storm Grace, in the 1 p.m. Central Time advisory that's moved inland towards central Mexico. It's moved onshore, it's lost its heat source, so it's going to continue weakening back down to a tropical depression, if not a remnant low, in that 4 p.m. Central Time advisory that comes out soon. Time right now, 2:54, and here's the 1-minute satellite imagery showing Category 1 Hurricane Henri, just offshore of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. As I mentioned, that low pressure center right about there, where I'm pointing the mouse pointer right there. Lots of lightning strikes with this, not atypical of a tropical system. You can get plenty of lightning strikes for sure. As it continues tracking north-northeast at 17 miles per hour. Winds are at 75 miles per hour. That makes it a Category 1 hurricane. If it goes back down to 70, then it becomes a tropical storm again. But I don't think the winds will be, well, the winds will definitely be a significant impact for New England, but I think storm surge will also be a really big impact that we see. We'll dive into that in a second. Here's the forecast track. First of all, it'll more than likely see an increase in wind speeds later tonight to around 85 miles per hour, but as it continues lifting north, it's going to interact with more shear. It's also going to be tracking over slightly cooler ocean temperatures, so more than likely it will cap its strength at around Category 1 status. And as it continues to move towards land, it may also be slightly weakening just a bit, but either way, it's going to make landfall sometime tomorrow night as it crosses through Long Island Sound as either a Category 1 hurricane or a high-end tropical storm. Whichever one it is, the impacts stay pretty much the same. That forecast track from the National Hurricane Center as it continues moving north, heading into Monday as it loses its heat source, as we just saw with Grace. It will start to dissipate a little bit and then track over to the east after passing through Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. Very atypical to see a tropical system pass through here. This is the first tropical system, first hurricane to make landfall in New England in 30 years. That does not count Hurricane or Superstorm Sandy, because Sandy had characteristics of both a tropical system and a non-tropical system. So Sandy got omitted from that. Talking about the storm surge real fast, a storm surge warning is in effect from really pretty much Manhattan and the Hudson River all the way over through southern Connecticut and through southern Rhode Island and over to Cape Cod. And potentially the most impacted area will be the northern shore of Long Island and the southern part of southeastern New York and southern Connecticut, because the storm surge will be funneling in from the east. The winds will be blowing from east to west when the storm passes through, and that will actually help to funnel that storm surge into the northeastern corner of, or the northwestern corner of Long Island. We could be talking about storm surge on the order of 6 to 9 feet near places like Stamford, Oyster Bay, Great Neck, just northeast of downtown New York City, and over towards Stony Brook and Shoreham, even as far east is there. 6 to 9 feet of storm surge possible. That's really significant. Elsewhere, farther out towards southeastern Connecticut, potentially 3 to 6 feet of storm surge, which is still really high. So the main thing that I want to get out is that if you have friends or relatives in the area, tell them to move inland if they can, because 6 to 9 feet of storm surge is really high, especially for this part of the world. Again, that will be mostly confined to the northern sections of Long Island and southern Connecticut. Definitely something to bear in mind. Get the word out, folks. This will be a pretty big storm. So the Saharan dust is another thing we're tracking as it blows across the Atlantic. Big outbreak, kind of atypical for this time of year as well. This will be pushing into southern Florida over the next 48 hours, and we'll be keeping an eye on it back here at home in central Alabama. We could see it nose its way in later this week by around Wednesday, Thursday. Certainly something to bear in mind for us here at home in Birmingham. That's really all for now. Stay in touch with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on them at Griffin Hardy WX and Weathergram Griff. Also, you can reach out to me anytime via email, ghardy@cbs42.com. And there's my work phone number in case you have any further questions. That's all for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and please remember to take Hurricane Henri seriously. Have a great night, everybody.